Okay, so, hi, hello, welcome back to another Creepypasta video. Today we'll be reading Rap Rat. But before we get into it, I do want to say a few things. First off, this video is a one take. You hear me stumble, mumble, fumble, and mess up my words. I am sorry, because this is streamed live on my twitch.tv/jankyjohnny. So, you hear me stumble, mumble, fumble, and, all that stuff. And you sometimes may hear me reread things, because sometimes I say a word that starts with R, but I say W instead, like rail and whale. Makes no sense sometimes, but yeah. One other thing I do want to tell you, please consider using code GOONS at gamersubs.gg. It is code GOONS. You can use that. You get 10% off at discount. Gamersubs is an energy drink brand, and they sell energy drinks, tubs where you can mix it with water, and you can have a really good tasting drink. A couple flavors. I had a couple flavors before, and I really enjoy them. So go check it out. Link is in the description alongside my other links. Okay, so outside that, let's get into it. This creepypasta story is called Rap Rat, and we begin where the terror begins. Ever heard of a nightmare? Like a lot of other games in the 90s, it came with a VHS tape which you timed with your play. The character on the video would give you instructions on what to do while you play the game in real time. Being a scaredy cat, I refused to play it, when my mom bought it for us. My brother was disappointed about not being able to play Nightmare, but my mom had a solution. She brought out Rap Rat. It was a cheap, dingy little thing catered to kids my age. You went around the board, collected cheese, and the first player to reach the end would win. It seemed simple enough, and since it reminded us of Mousetrap, which we didn't have, there was no objections. We popped the movie into the VHS tape and set up the board. The first part of the video was just a simple explanation of the rules as well as the instructions on how the game worked. Then Rap Rat came onto the TV. He was not what any of us had been expecting. My smaller brother, who was 3 at the time, immediately left the room crying. The rat did not even resemble a rat. The ears were far too big, it had a mouth lined with 2 teeth, and inside the mouth looked almost swollen. The most striking part about the thing, though, was the eyes. They were large and glassy and fish-like. I asked and bothered, then begged my mom to turn it off. Rap Rat suddenly shouted loudly, screaming and wailing, saying, "Wait your turn," in a demonic, low-pitched voice that was not at all like his normal, obnoxious and nasal voice. In the background, we could hear the narrator saying, "He's Rap Rat, and he's the boss," over and over again, in an overly serious tone. The video was indescribable. Images crossed the screen in quick succession, overcut with Rap Rat's expressionless eyes. The images were some of the things that I was afraid of at times. A person looking over a balcony, a hornet slowly stinging someone's eye, an extreme close-up of a tarantula, a pit full of writhing cobras, and bloody syringe filled with green fluid. We immediately turned the video off and I ran out of the room screaming, slamming my door behind me. It took my mom 20 minutes to convince me that the video was gone, that I will never ever see it again. I had nightmares all week about Rap Rat. But that wasn't the last time that I saw Rap Rat. While my girlfriend and I were preparing to move in together, I was cleaning out the closet of my room and found Rap Rat again, with the same VHS tape and the same board game inside. It was almost perfectly intact, save for a thick layer of cobwebs and dust bunnies on top of it. This was strange though. Didn't my mother get rid of it? And what was that game doing in my room? I let out a bit of a gasp when I found it, and my girlfriend came into the room, asking what was the matter. I was breathing harshly and I said, "Rap Rat." She laughed a bit and asking if it was a joke. I shook my head, explaining that it wasn't. She didn't believe me, nobody did, and I decided that the only way to prove it to her was to show her the video. I borrowed my neighbor's VHS tape and played the video for her. However, the images had changed. I saw a clown, his nose bursting and spraying blood onto the screen. I saw a woman alone in a dark room. I saw a man being forced to pick up the white hot metal and hold it in his outstretched hand, turning his hand to a leathery mess. The scratching I heard as a child continued, picking up louder and louder, and then Rap Rat showed up and began twisting and convulsing, his arms thrusting this way and that. The costume wasn't a costume anymore. The felt was real fur. Its face wasn't plastic, but instead a bristle of thorns with teeth. The eyes turned inwards and suddenly popped out again. Rap Rat's huge fish eyes were inside out, staring right at me, watching my every move, my every expression. It grinned widely and gestured at my girlfriend and I with a single outstretched inhuman hand. I could hear the faintest scratching at my front door. The TV went blank and showed static. The scratching got louder. It wasn't scratching anymore, but thumping. The thumping of tiny feet on wood. My girlfriend embraced me in fear and my senses kicked in. Before anything else could happen, I stopped the video. I ejected it and unplugged the VHS tape. The scratching stopped, and when I looked out the living room window, nothing was there. The police showed up soon after, warning us that a neighbor had seen a figure outside of our door and had called in concern. My girlfriend and I simply couldn't explain what had happened, and had to tell the police officer that it was us. I was furious that the children's game was terrifying me. I went to pick up the tape, but the VHS burned my hand. It felt like I had touched a Bunsen burner on the highest setting. We had to get the oven mitts from the kitchen in order to take it out, and even then it was scorching hot. I brought it outside and I tossed it down on the sidewalk, and I crushed it under my winter boots. My girlfriend and I had nightmares every night. We would both wake up in the middle of the night and describe eerily similar images that we saw in our sleep. The scratching would always be there at night, when the lights were off and the room was pitch black, save for the moonlight coming in through the window. Now, though, the scratching would happen every time I went near the front door, and every time we said Rap Rat's name. It sounded as if something very small was dragging something across the ground outside of the door. Pacing, waiting. I would simply wait with the covers pulled up to my neck, until I succumbed to exhaustion. At this point, I was determined to sue the company for damages. The first thing I did was to call my mother and ask where she got Rap Rat from. She had no idea. I found a merchant who sold versions of Rap Rat, and asked how I can get in touch with him, or get in touch with the company, and he sent me the email. I don't know about the game, but I know it was created by the same people who created Nightmare. The company is called A Couple of Cowboys. Try them. I did a bit more research and I discovered that the company became defunct in 1994, only 2 years after the company created Rap Rat. I discovered why they did soon after. How Rap Rat came to be. In 1992, the year of the game's development, A Couple of Cowboys had commissioned a manufacturing company in Haiti to create a doll portrayed in the game. The company who created the puppet ran a sweatshop where they forced women and children to produce the various components of the puppet, including the felt and plastic of the doll. One day, a young Haitian girl got her arm cut in an industrial sewing machine. The spring loader, unable to handle the weight of the machine, came loose and struck the child's neck, killing her instantly. A few days after the funeral, the mother of the child came to the factory, demanding to see the owner, who denied that he had anything to do with it. In a fit of rage, the mother said that the blood of the innocent would seep into every crevice of the doll, every component with which it was created, and all who touched it would die. She claimed to have summoned a feared demon and screamed at the top of her lungs, "Apparat will curse you." The owner simply laughed and told his corporate bosses about Apparat. They spread the joke from person to person, and the game was renamed Rap Rat, a loose anagram of Apparat. Each recitation of the name Apparat brought it with a greater and greater curse. Only 2 years after Rap Rat was created, the company was shut down and owners hired by Mattel. There were stories of the workers begging for days off, skipping work for weeks and weeks, and finding the puppet in strange places. Sooner were the stories of sewer slides. Grim, violent sewer slides in which the worker would stab their hands and burn themselves to death, writing "I am fear" on the nearest surface in blood. Nobody knows where Rap Rat's doll went after the original creators disappeared. Some say that the last thing the victims saw before going insane were large, sunken, fish-like eyes. Words of warning. Number 1. Never, ever say Apprat out loud. Saying a demon's name out loud is an invitation to them, a calling. If you have already done this, it cannot be undone. Number 2. Do not try to speak or to contact Apprat. Number 3. Avoid being awake between 3:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. when Rap Rat is most likely trying to scare you. Moving on to the audio. The VHS tape is back. I thought I stomped on it. I smashed it to Kingdom Come, but it's back. I found it in my sock drawer yesterday. This time, I was ready. A whole bunch of people have been contacting me trying to get the tape or some sort of video from the board game. My answer to you is that it's just too dangerous, and if I did that, it could very well drive you insane, scare you to death. The video and the game and Rap Rat itself has some sort of strange power. Rap Rat follows me everywhere I go. I see little shadows in the corners or hear something coming down the hallway when I'm the only one home. If Rap Rat is there, it will let you know, but it will never let you see it until it's too late, of course. A lot of people have been watching the normal video from the normal board game. That's the thing, Rap Rat can be normal. It will trick you into thinking it's just a puppet, and then stalk you day and night. That was Rap Rat, written by Canadian Cowboy. Okay, so that was Creepypasta, Rap Rat. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that one. I did kind of find it funny though how like it was saying that like don't say apparat, because if you do, you're already screwed. And you know how I narrate this stuff for you guys. Yeah, I may be dead soon. But yeah, yet again, hopefully y'all enjoyed that Creepypasta. I never heard of Rap Rat before, but you know, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, like all my videos, I'm gonna keep you guys here just for one more minute longer so I can clip it, because as I mentioned, this is from a live stream, and it's a lot easier for me to clip it when it's at like, you know, 24 minutes instead of like 23 minutes and like 45 seconds, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier to locate in the timeline. So yeah. Yeah, again, thank you for watching. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more creepypastas, feel free to subscribe. I have videos scheduled all the way up to like halfway through May, and I will have a lot more until I run out of creepypastas or I decide to go back to r/nosleep. Also, you guys can check the date of my thumbnails if you can see the different images of the character in the bottom right corner of it. So you know, that's a little fun fact. Not seeing which video is currently recorded. But yeah, all my links are down below. Please consider to use code GOONS at gamersubs.gg and all that lovely stuff. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.